Hello, Acolytes! Welcome back to Rogue Trader! Oi. I have spent a little bit of time pre-stream looking at things to see what there is to be done from here. I think first thing is going to be going to the bridge to finally authorize the databank decryption on the personal cogitator, which is apparently on the bridge. Then we talk to Heinrichs and Jai, and then we finally leave the system and start getting into the meat of the game after the slow introduction that has been the prologue in Chapter 1. Birds. Yeah, the rest of Footfall to the Void Dock. I should have myself in a relatively unobtrusive place for this. I'll see how long I can get this going, because let's just say I have already done I've spent the earlier parts of the afternoon recording a couple more episodes. The Void Ship Bridge. I like it. Did I... sound? Yeah, I put it down a little bit. Anyway. Let's go to the cogitator first, see if we can't... So turn it on. The reflections of the bridge lights are playing on the unlit vid screens of the cogitator. Next to the machine stands a hunched tech priest who bows as you approach. His body nearly folds in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirit of this mechanism slumbers. Should you wish to awaken it, use the key of your blood. Place your hand inside the servitor's maw. The servitor's powerful jaws close around your head with a screeching clack. You fold the cold metal... You feel, not fold. The cold metal pierce your skin and draw blood. The vid screens in front of you flicker restlessly, filling with numerical combinations. The tech priest, by the cogitator nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. Let's see, Pascal has informed me that the system has encrypted data stored inside. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, the tech priest turns to the cogitator. He raises his hands and a prayer of binaric code pours out of his Vox device. The servo motors in the bowels of the machine grow louder, its undulating hum responding to his chant. Numerical combinations running down the screens. All that. The machine spirit has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. The tech priest stops abruptly and the green glow of his visor narrows. Registering an intact segment, the machine spirit has spoken. The worlds of Kiavagama and Arganos hold certain data repositories. The mechanism is ready to provide the cogitator, or the rogue trader, with the data keys that can unlock said repositories. What data repositories? That remains hidden. The encrypted data bank belongs to the esteemed Theodora von Valencius. Oh, that's why I turned the volume down. Music is quite boisterous. She was the only one who could have known about these repositories. Perhaps the former Engineer Prime also could have known, unless I accept his code. If I were to propose a hypothesis, it would be most prudent of a figure as eminent as a rogue trader to store her classified data in receptacles more secure. How do I accept these keys? The cogitator's vid screen blinks. Input, request response, data trans... The gracious machine spirit is willing to transfer the data keys to the head of the House Valencius by means of an electu, a hypodermic tattoo augment. If you are ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. Deep within the servitor's dark gullet, unseen, burning hot needles pierce your wrist, but the sharp pain lasts only a moment. The electu that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. I need to know more about the caches. And put damn comps rest in. The tech priest's augmented fingers dart around the control panel. The Omnisci favors you. The machine spirit is willing to commence the calculation procedure that could restore lost data. Restore the data cache on the data on the cache located under Dargonis. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding crackle. Then the sounds stop and an unmoving numerical combination lights up on the screen. The tech priest's synthesized voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it's only a phrase. Litanies of the motive force. That is all the sacred mechanism was able to salvage. I'm interested in the cache on Kiavagama. The servo motors within the cogitator pick up the pace, their heavy thrum growing louder. The machine clicks abrasively for several minutes until eventually a numerical code appears on the screen. Tech Priest turns to you. Blessed are the Omnisci's deeds. The repository on Kiavagama has a security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered a code that will allow you to disable the defenses. Oh, good. I have other questions. Have the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus been able to discern how the ship was able to start her warp engines? Agent Sierra Prime spends hours pursuing the quest for knowledge in hopes of comprehending the nature of said miracle. May the Omnisci's grace guide him on his journey. Remind me who you are. I am IH-630 of the Adeptus Mechanicus, a faithful servant of the Machine God. The venerated Engine Seer Prime has entrusted the sacred mechanism into my care, so I may assist in your understanding and comprehension of its hallowed code. And it's a good thing I hit that up first. So now, I know of a couple of hidden caches. Next, let's talk to Jai, wherever the hell she is. There you are.
Allow me to thank you again for helping me with the cargo, Sherin. I am sure the Ashmags who squirreled away my goods won't give up so easily, and I'll hear more about their scheming yet. Let's strike a deal, Sherin. I will watch your back, if you do me a favor and watch mine. Well, enough jokes. Is there something you wanted?
Was there some business you wished to discuss?
Oh, Sherin, I did manage to spark your interest. Allow me to invite you to a more private place. My words are meant for your ears alone.
Very well. There's our man. The flickering light of dozens of candles plays across Jay's face, making her small smile appear even more mysterious. Shireen, the Exalted One himself, has brought us together the day you crossed Vladaim's the threshold. He led us to the cargo and gave his blessing for its return. Do you know what people in my world say when such a thing happens? What's gained is to be shared with your neighbor. Last sniper rifle. But it's Eldari, Cry of Agony, which is Drukari. She points at the containers in front of her. One contains a polished Eldari rifle, a rare model, and the other holds an ornate sword. I am sharing what I have gained with you. Please accept these humble gifts in honor of our wildly successful, though suddenly struck, friendship. A truly wonderful gift. I accept your gratitude. I knew you would appreciate the Xenos' mastery of their craft. Jai beams at you, curling a lock of black hair around an augmented finger. After a brief pause, she awkwardly continues. So, the matter I wanted to discuss with you is related to my business. You know that I sell Xeno artifacts to interested Imperial subjects and Imperial trinkets to Xenos. Business is going well. My network runs even without my participation. But when it comes to expansion, well, that's where I hit a wall. Rivals envious of my success. She throws up her hands. Falco especially. I'm certain the theft of the cargo was his doing. But I can never predict what the Ashmag will do next, and while the Imperium's authority may be fragmented in the Expanse, it could crack on people of my profession at any moment. Go on. If the rogue trader put in a good word with me with the servants of the Adeptus Administratum, I could become an official trade representative of the Imperium. Just imagine, a little scrap of paper will offer me and my agents protection against Ashmag schemes, far better than any refractor field. And even the Inquisition will have to think twice before they mess with me, because I'll be a representative of the law in my own right. And the best part of all is that this will cost you precisely nothing, Sherry. All you have to do is stop by the Administratum Palace and obtain a certificate from the Master of Seals. My informants tell me that the palace is located on Darganis, your capital world. You see, how everything has aligned so wonderfully, and of course I will repay you in kind. And how do I benefit from your gaining official status? Besides being in receipt of my eternal gratitude, Shireen, she playfully raises a bow. Won't it be beneficial to have someone in your retinue with the weight of authority behind them, rather than just another pawn? One slip of paper, and I will be able to extend my network to systems far beyond footfall. My agents will be your eyes and ears throughout the Expanse. That sounds simple enough. I will help you. Exalted One, bless you, Shireen. I couldn't find a better business partner in all the Expanse. Jai ponders for a moment and then graces you with a dazzling smile. Friendship is a gift from the Exalted One, and we must cherish it. And you will have no complaints about our friendship, Shireen. I may not be a trade representative of the Imperium just yet, but I can still help you with whatever you need. You must have some faction in mind that you would like to establish relations with. The Severe Drusians? The hot-headed pirates of the Cosbalica? You merely need to use the right words, like a key for a lock, and people will open their hearts to you, or their wallets. I will arrange everything. You merely have to ask. I wouldn't mind having closer ties to the pirates of the Expanse. Not a problem, Shireen. I will have my people put in a good word for you in the right circles. Yay, Fellowship of the Void 2000. I will humbly wait until you steer your vessel towards Darganis. The Mercatum Tabula Officiale, it sounds almost as majestic as the Warrant of Trade. Well, and now I'm up here. That's another thing. Hey there, Augustus. How you doing? Augustus watches you intently from above. The jet-black bird remains almost perfectly still, giving you the sense of looking at a stuffed mount or a statue instead of a living creature. Suddenly its beak opens and you hear a distorted, barely intelligible as a dull. Tell me what the future holds for us, Augustus. The raven cranes its neck and stares into your face. Its black beak opens, darkness marching over fading suns. Give the raven a treat. Best bird. With a short croak of gratitude, Augustus catches the food and instantly tears it to pieces. What did they say about me around the decks? Augustus looks at you without making a sound and straightens up, and then the bird spreads its wings as if trying to appear larger. Presumably, this dignified silence is supposed to demonstrate the grim respect that your subjects have for their rogue trader. Pet the raven. Telekinetically. The feathers feel rough to the touch. Augustus catches one of your fingers with a beak that could easily slice a digit clean off. This is merely a warning for now. Augustus, find something useful for me. Flies off. Raven flaps its wings and takes off from its perch. And Augustus returns after a watch hour has passed. Before landing back on the perch, the raven drops its trophy at your feet. Following your command, it indeed found something to offer its master. A couple of blinding grenades. Nice. Good boy, Augustus. Now then. Do I want to visit the baths? Perform your ablutions. 40k years of grifter construction, yes. Oh god, it's great to have the construction finally done, because it's been right when I usually try to sleep. And also reaching into the start of my usual straight time. Just the enforcers, nah. And finish our ablutions. But yes, it's great to finally get back to streaming. Getting stuff done. Get a well-deserved rest. Higher initiative bonus in the next combat. Nice. And we go back to the bridge and talk to Heinrichs. So how you doing, Grumpy? Yes. Right over there.
To what do I owe this visit?
Hey, I can get rid of Adira. Well, I wanted to discuss the nature of your mission.
Yes, but not here.
Oh,
I wouldn't want
sure.
our conversation to be gossip fodder on the bridge and in the officers' mess.
What's up, my man? Heinrichs nods slightly. Thank you for... Yeah, that sounds about right. Fucking taxes, man. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to do taxes when I actually start making money off of streaming. Anyway, thank you for finding an opportunity to talk. I trust now would be a good time to explain the reason for my return aboard your ship. I welcome the chance to assist the Inquisition with its inquiries, Van Calix. Lord Captain, your enthusiasm is commendable. The interrogator smiles, but his eyes remain cold. To business, then. The cult of the Final Dawn. The madmen preach their heretical doctrine among the denizens of the Cronus Expanse and instigate crimes against the throne and humanity. One such crime took place in your protectorate. The Lord Inquisitor considered it necessary to have one of his acolytes accompany the rogue trader on the voyage into the corrupted region. I also need to meet with one of my observers on the capital world of your domain. Chaos cult in my protectorate? Heinrichs, are you laying an accusation against my dynasty? We've already had issues with chaos. There's obviously bigger plots going on. He is not laying down accusations. The Lord Inquisitor mentioned in his letter that he is willing to show lenience towards my actions that would otherwise be interpreted as radical. Heinrichs nods. That is correct. I should show greater tolerance for the mistakes of a newly appointed rogue trader. To be frank, I'm surprised. The Lord Inquisitor is not the type to indulge the weakness of soul and mind, even someone who has only recently accepted the burden of a lofty title. You have spies on the Von Valencius worlds? The person I mentioned is not a spy, but a secretary in the administratum department on Dargonis. Okay, so that's another companion quest taking us to the administratum on the Dargonis. The planet's governor and Theodora were fully aware of his status. His duty is to fulfill the sacred oath to the Golden Throne and eliminate threats to the Imperium, which the Cronus Expanse has in abundance. His name is Achilles Scalander. As soon as we contact Dargonis, I will introduce you as the new head of the dynasty. I'm sure you will appreciate the presence of such an advisor among my subjects, or your subjects, and I suggest you heed his words, at least occasionally. Why would Ordo Xenos agents investigate a chaos cult? We're well versed in how the Inquisition organized as a whole. Or is organized as a whole. Yes, initially our arrival in the Coronis Expanse was dictated by the need to fight Xenos, but there was more. The cult is tangentially related to my main specialization. Perhaps I will be able to reveal the full truth someday, but right now I ask you to display humility and patience. Let's see, I want to know more about this cult of the Final Dawn. Chaos Worshippers. Most often, agents of the throne run into lone renegades stirring up the rabble, insane prophets and hysteric visionaries preaching the end of days, a passing comet, a mutant rebellion, an onslaught of monsters. Each time they come up with a new reason why people should prostrate themselves and quiver in fear. Much effort and the blood of those loyal to the Golden Throne were spent before we established the connection between those heretics. However, the cult of the Final Dawn is something greater than a gaggle of misguided seers and fortune-tellers. They cleverly spread their agents all over the Coronis Expanse, disseminating heresy among honest people on the Imperial worlds. There is a certain strategy to their actions that changes whenever we get too close. And finally, they have enough military power to have had 2 ships that we had sent after them later discovered as wreckage. The growing difficulty in making warp jumps is detrimental to us, but is unlikely to inconvenience those who engage in vile sorcery day in, day out. Heinrich sighs. After the events of Rykad Minoris, I suspect the cult might have built its nest inside Winterscale's domain, but the latest reports indicate it is your protectorate that is harboring heretics. Being in your entourage improves my chances of getting closer to their secrets. I've already agreed to give you a place aboard my ship. What else? The rogue trader should deliver me to the system that contains the industrial world of Kiavagama. I will then accompany you to the surface and determine what the cult is planning and how it intends to use the resources that have fallen into their clutches, which may very well include the blessed engines of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and even the followers of the Omnissiah themselves. I will be frank. The answer to this question is unlikely to please either of us. The machinations of chaos usually go beyond solely inflicting countless deaths and destruction. Having their plans to come to fruition would lead to far more terrible consequences. One of the systems in the Coronis Expanse is already lost. May the Emperor protect us from watching this tragedy play out again. Why did your suspicion fall on Kiavagama? A disjointed pieces of data that finally merged into a single picture. Additionally, not long ago a vessel from that world arrived on Footfall. The reports from the crew were confused and alarming, making me fear a planet-wide rebellion. We met a Chaos Space Marine on Rykad Minoris. Do we risk running into his brothers? I have no doubt it will happen sooner or later, Azathoul. Chaos Marines siding with the cult is very, very bad news. Most likely they kept away until recently, pulling their puppet strings from a respectable distance. These traitors seldom show up alone. The best we can count on is having to deal with just a squad of them in the Coronis Expanse, not an entire company. I won't let anyone throw their weight around my worlds, be they servants of chaos, Xenos, or heretics. A commendable aspiration for a person who holds the fate of billions of people and dozens of imperial worlds in his hands, which is why you need to be ever more vigilant when looking for seeds of corruption on your planets, lest they sprout someday and spell doom for whatever is tangled up in their roots. That's enough discussion of the arch-enemy's servants. Tell me about the Drukhari who stole Rykad's son. Heinrich winces. The Drukhari, one of the branches of the Eldari, an ancient and vicious Xenos race. These creatures are a living terror to ordinary people who fall prey to their raids, for the simple reason that the victims are not killed outright but instead become their playthings. Just as you and I need air to survive, the Drukhari requires psychic energy born from torment and pain, which they extract from their captives with uncanny expertise. Their ships, which are difficult to mistake for any other, arrive suddenly and undetected. Their stealth technologies greatly surpass the capabilities of standard Imperium auger arrays. The objective of their raids is to never capture a world or a ship. No, they are only interested in fresh victims. After filling their holds with living captives, they disappear into the webway, a different dimension which conceals their greatest stronghold, Gamora, the dark city of the Drukhari, from which none can hope to escape. Heinrich studies your expressions. I do not know why the Drukhari stole Rykad's son, and brought about the fulfillment of the cult's prophecy. Perhaps the Xenos themselves have played into the archenemy's designs. Or perhaps Aurora's divinations, in fact, described the Drukari's actions. There's only one thing I can say with absolute certainty. There's no alliance between the cult of the Final Dawn and the Xenos. It is simply impossible. I must go about my business. Is there anything else I need to know? Let me put it this way. You may think whatever you want of me, but my goal is not to hinder you. I'm here to help you in the fight against foes you may not even be aware of. You have my word that I will provide every assistance in uprooting the heresy that has sprouted on the Von Valencia's worlds while their master was away, and that I will try to be more patient with the less grievous flaws the bearers of the warrant are sometimes known to have. He inclines his head. Thank you for sparing the time, Lord Captain. And now I need to walk all the way back out. I guess I'll see if any of the other companions have anything to say. Haven't spoken with Abelard in a while.
Lord Captain?
Let's see. I've discovered that there are caches left by Theodora somewhere on Dargonis and Kiavagana. Do you know anything about them?
It is wise for a rogue trader to have caches where they can safely store important information. And utterly unwise to share the coordinates of such caches with anyone. Even one's most trusted associates.
The shadow of a sad smile appears and immediately vanishes from the Seneschal's face.
I'm afraid I do not know how to find the caches, but I can offer some help. Your predecessor used this numeric code to deactivate certain defense systems in her service. If I know Lady Theodora as well as I think, then I'm quite certain that she left her caches well guarded. In that case, this code will be useful to you.
Yay! So it is worthwhile to actually go about talking to my peoples. The Vox Spirits brought you anything interesting lately? No. Revor. You don't have anything for me, nothing to say to me. Argenta, how you doing?
Lord Captain, your presence is welcome. And I wish to apologize for my prior coldness. After our first meeting, I was concerned that you would turn out to be another faithless offshoot of the von Valancia's dynasty, like the traitor Conrad. But now I see before me a worthy leader and servant of the Imperium. I am glad to accompany you in your endeavors.
Are you ready to tell me more about yourself now?
If such is the rogue trader's wish, although there isn't much I can tell, I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to know?
Where do you hail from?
Now that I can tell you. I come from everywhere and nowhere. I am the child of officers of the Imperial Guard. I was born in the hold of a warship, grew up following my parents' deployments from one planet to another, and lost my family in the flames of a righteous war. My memory is like wafts of smoke over a still battlefield. The gray of a ship's plating, the strict cadence of life in military camps. My mother's uniform. I loved looking at it. Then, that battle, the rumbling, the shouting, and the soot, the screams of soldiers burning alive, and the gold of the regiment's Aquila, untouched by soot or blood, the last unsullied piece of a world that was going mad. That was my last memory of my mother, and of my former life, before the Schola Progenium and the novitiate, before my trials, before the vows.
The golden shard you carry.
My own relic. It's the regiment's Aquila, or rather, the fragment that survived the attack, the explosions, and the fire. For me, it's a reminder that purity and radiance can be preserved, even in the heart of darkness.
So how did you become one of the Adepta Sororitas?
Become. It's such a strange word for it. It seems right, but is that how one talks about their destiny? If you're asking about the path itself, that's easy enough to answer. First, like many other orphans, I endured the Progenium. Those years were rough, but I remember the hardship fondly. Few things can compare with the feeling of satisfaction from a past trial, even if it leaves your body aching from exhaustion, or your soul wincing in pain.
The Progenium, a division of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of orphans of those officers and nobles who have died in the service of the Imperium.
I was one of the best among my peers, and I was selected for the novitiate in the ranks of the Adepta Sororitas. When the hour came, I passed the trials and took my vows. The most joyous day of my life. The Emperor's light has always been with me, but to accept it with all your heart, to utter the oaths, that is a rapture like no other.
Have you ever wished for a different lot in life?
Have I ever? But that would be shameful weakness, almost heresy. Of course not. I was born for this. I live by the Emperor's will, and in his light, I myself am the light. I must be the light. For myself, and for those who ask for my protection. I was chosen to serve. But beyond that, I won't deny it. Few things elate me as much as the thought that the heretic felled by my shot will never again orphan a child.
Beast. Thank you for your candor.
It is my pleasure to be candid.
I would like to discuss Salus Prime and the relic that you want to find.
Of course, my mission is all I can think about.
Remind me, what is your mission?
To find the way to the planet called Salus Prime. Saint Argenta is my patroness, and that is where her fallen ship is. And it must also be the resting place of her great relic, the One Star.
Tell me about Saint Argenta. What relic you're searching for?
Gladly. Listen. Long ago, there was a blessed world. Thousands of stars covered the sky there, so bright that its denizens hardly knew the darkness of night. Thousands of rivers nurtured the soil. Thousands of gardens bloomed every spring, and at every moment, thousands of prayers were flying into the clear air, thanking and praising the Emperor. But one day, the people learned the meaning of darkness. Like a storm, accursed heretics who had sold themselves to the archenemy descended upon the planet. Shells flew from the sky that desolated whole cities and burned the gardens and filled the riverbeds with the blood of the faithful. Smoke and soot swallowed the skies and the 1,000 stars that had once shone over the world. Among the handful of survivors was one orphan who had watched all her family die, and the garden she'd grown up in burn to ash. But in her heart, she knew the absolute truth. Just these 3 words. The Emperor protects. And knowing that, she never looked away from the black, terrifying, smoke-covered sky. There were no more bright stars to be seen. Except for one. The One Star. The bright star. The silver star shone in the sky. And when the orphan smiled at it, the One Star fell right into her hands. All the faithful in every corner of the continent who saw the trail of the falling star recognized it as an omen and went looking for the place where it landed. And they rallied together. And with the light of the One Star, they found their salvation.
The girl from the story. That was Saint Argenta?
Yes, that was the beginning of her hagiography. It is known that she lived on a world where heretics staged a terrible insurrection. They wiped out all life on the planet, except those whom Saint Argenta managed to save with the one star, and with the strength of her faith. After that, she traveled between worlds gripped by turmoil on her ship, marked with a silver star, and brought hope to the faithful. Numerous accounts confirm this. Her coming helped people turn the tide of the war and wipe away corruption before the Imperium's main forces even arrived. Millions of people owed their lives to her, but the heretics, having realized their imminent defeat, sent the remnants of their forces after the ship with the Silver Star. It fell from the skies onto an obscure world. There are no definitive records of how old Argenta was at the time. In some chronicles, she's even called the Child Saint, but their credibility is questionable. Either way, she didn't live long, but she left a bright trail in her wake, like a falling star.
So what is this one star?
If I only knew. Neither the hagiography nor the legends give a straight answer. Classical iconographers believed that the star turned into a banner woven from silver thread, which, when brought onto the battlefield, would shed light that blinded only heretics, but did no harm to the faithful. Most of them portrayed Saint Argenta as a girl carrying this banner. Others think that upon falling from the sky, the one star became a holy chainsword, which Argenta later used to strike down monsters and enemies of the Imperium. In some of the earlier engravings, Argenta is depicted wearing power armor with a silver star on her chest. One theological theory suggests that this armor was, in fact, the relic. Some even think that the one star is actually the ship on which Argenta traveled. I feel that my undertaking will be fulfilled when I find the answer that has eluded the Ecclesiarchy for millennia. I pray we find the way to Salus Prime soon. The ruinous powers must be aligned against us. They stand in the way of faith.
I have no more questions.
One day we will reach Salus Prime and stand before the gates of Saint Argenta's ship. I know it. I believe.
Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. And then Cassia.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
What does your special set reveal?
Jai is like a gem. The brighter people shine around her, the clearer her faces reflect a myriad of colorful gleams. They are all parts of Jai, but no single one of them is her. I cannot discern her true colors through the veil of her motley shawls. I peel off hue after hue, only to find a different color underneath every time. I have enjoyed...
Let's see how it is. Could go talk to it too. Not that I really care to. Bella. How do?
Domit,
Tell me about yourself.
I am the second spinner of the blood-spun web. A spear in the hand of the undying Emperor. I am your shield and shadow. Your blade.
Can I pass this awareness check? Yes. A look of curiosity flashes across Cabella's face before it is matched by her usual stoic indifference, as I ask her if there's anything about herself that she dislikes.
The tenets compel us to let our deeds speak on our behalf. There is no one in the cult who does not know me. So I have grown accustomed to taciturnity in matters regarding myself. Ask, and I will try to give you an answer that will satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
Tell me about your past.
I remember nothing of my childhood. The Vizier says this is because of my training and the injuries I received in battle. He told me it is the fate of all high spinners. The only memories I have are of the blood-spun web and the brothers and sisters who serve the cult alongside me.
What was it like growing up in the cult? What do you remember?
When we were young, we would sew our eyes shut and wander through the bays for months at a time. Starving, surviving, dying. This trial of darkness honed the senses of those who passed it. We were elated, for we knew we were blessed by him. When we grew older, we learned to wield our weapons, and our mentors tested us with pain, poison, and the weight of deceitful words. In time, our bodies no longer felt pain. Our blood became resistant to toxins, and our focus could not be shaken. We were at peace, for we had shed everything that could encumber our faithful service to him. When we came of age, we faced a great trial. A year-long vigil spent in unceasing prayer to the Undying One. When hunger and other base sensations faded away, we attained true comprehension of ourselves and our place in the world. Our place between life and death. We were proud, for on that day, he truly accepted us, and we accepted him.
It must have been difficult to go through all of that as a child.
It is impossible to understand the value of your body and spirit if you've never experienced physical or emotional pain. Pain is temporary, but experience endures. Experience can be sharpened like a blade and turned into mastery. I have never regretted walking the thread I was destined to follow.
Your parents, your family, you never mentioned them.
When we join the cult, we relinquish our past. The blood-spun web becomes our new family. I have seen the pain, terror, and doubt in the eyes of those who hear the Undying One whisper the names of their kin. For some, the blessing of oblivion is a gift not unlike death.
Do you not wish to know what became of your family?
No.
The answer escapes Cabilla's lips before she can give it any thought. Upon realizing this, she produces a small blade seemingly out of nowhere and begins to sharpen it with pointed nonchalance. I presume you have no friends either?
Attachment makes us weak. The weak meet their demise prematurely. But such death does not please the Undying One. For a soul must not be claimed before their time has come. It is true that spinners occasionally cross paths with those outside the cult. But such paths always diverge in the end. We may walk the same road together, but we are nothing more than temporary traveling companions. It is similar for those of your retinue. Our threads may intertwine for a time, but all will go their separate ways, as is inevitable. But not you and I, Domin. Our threads cannot be unwoven, and only the Undying One will end my service to you.
I understand you better now.
Know your enemy and prevail in battle. Know your ally and prevail in war.
Do you truly feel no pain at all?
You can see for yourself.
Cabela removes a small leather pouch from her belt and opens to reveal several instruments of torture. I will not torture you.
You honor me by taking me at my word.
Well, at least she takes my refusal positively. Your fighting style is unique. Do you think it's something I can learn?
Your body will fail you, Domin. Your bones will break. Your tendons will snap. Your heart will stop. Our rituals of self-perfection are unending. They demand absolute dedication and decades of special training. However, if you devote the next 30 years of your life to its study, you might be able to learn the basics.
Thank you for sharing with me.
It is not difficult to speak the truth.
Gesture at the scars covering Cabela's skin. Torture your own flesh. What is the meaning of this ritual?
Torture? I bear the sacred marks of the Undying One's service. Death has bestowed them upon me. Though others may cherish hollow riches or meaningless beauty, it is my duty to cherish his gift of blood. Each wound is a symbol of our service to him. Each drop of blood carries his blessing. To renounce these scars is to renounce the Undying One himself.
I do wonder.
Death whispers to me, you are worthy of bearing his marks. Tell me, Domin, do you wish to honor your flesh with his gifts?
You notice several officers exchanging worried glances as they eye the blade in Cabela's hands. It would be an honor to bear the mark of the Undying One.
Let it be so. Treasure his gift, Domin. Inscribe it anew each time you pray. May his blessing find you.
Cabela waits patiently as you prepare yourself for the ritual. As you are ready, she carefully presses her blade into your skin and carves the sacred symbol into your flesh with skillful precision. The wound stings and burn, or the wounds sting and burn painfully as they begin to bleed. Did you ever meet Theodora von Valancius?
I met her once when I was young. The Vizier saw a serpent hiding among those close to Domin Theodora, ready to sink its fangs into her throat. I was ordered to find the serpent and sever the soul from its body. I watched and waited for weeks. I hid among the shadows, the air ducts and the faceless masses. Once I found the serpent, I sliced off its head and returned to the temple. I doubt that Domin Theodora ever saw me, but the 3 ritual cuts I left behind on the body let her know that this death was pleasing to him. They sent us a grand feast from the upper decks before the cycle's end. We gave it to the hungry.
You always address me as Domi. What does that word mean?
The Gothic we use to communicate is different to that spoken on the upper decks. Domin has many meanings. Giver of life, Lord or Lady of the Ark, and Shadowless Sun. The matriarch Spider gave this title to the rogue trader who allowed her to form the blood-spun web. We use other titles as well. For example, Venai means Master of the Immaterium, or Watcher of the Veil. Vil means one who must go to the other side. Amig means one you can trust in battle.
The Undying One whispers my name. Will you carry out his will?
Lords and wretches are equal before death. If such is the Undying One's will, I will guide you to him, Domin.
Tell me about the Emperor's Tarot.
I use blood to read his sacred cards and hear the whisper of the Undying One. His tarot is not an answer, but a question I ask of the universe. And the universe answers with questions of its own. In this sacred communion, I perceive hundreds of possible outcomes. They are all true, and yet they are only visions. I know what will come to pass, and yet I do not.
How did you come to have a deck of his tarot?
It is a holy relic that has been passed down from generation to generation. Only the first and second spinners are allowed to study the sacred cards and interpret their meaning. We use his tarot to guide the cult and discern the tangled threads of fate.
How many cards are in your deck?
34. There used to be more, but some have perished in the darkness of time. Their loss is a great tragedy for the blood-spun web.
The Emperor's Tarot is usually read by sanctioned psychers.
I am the spear of his retribution, not a witch or a sorcerer or a soothsayer. I have no strange powers, but I do bear his blessing. I do not command the veil. I am guided by his whisper and led by my faith, by the tenets. Please, do not mistake me for something I am not.
Lower warp test failed. Camilla does not appear to possess any psychic powers. She has a gift. It's limited to the reading of cards. Can you give me a reading?
Ask the cards, Domin, and I will listen.
Camilla carefully takes out her Imperial Tarot deck. A black blade flashes before your eyes, and blood drips from her palm onto the cards. She closes her ears and listens. What does the future hold for me? Camilla draws 4 cards from the deck and lays them face down before you.
The first card is the young warrior. It suggests inexperience, a path of becoming. The second card is the shattered world inverted. The path will have twists, turns, and thorns, but you will gather allies along the way and find what was lost. The third, the hound inverted. Someone has marked you as their prey and is chasing you through a field of traps. The lost child. You will leap into one of those traps of your own free will and place your trust in someone truly desperate.
I have no questions at this time. Let's speak about something else, and I must take my leave. I think that's everybody. So let's get moving to the bridge and see about things. Got the Ash World that doesn't have anything. Drus's Blessing, Footfall. Yes, map of the Coronis Expanse. Time to chart new routes. Navigator's Insight, special resource acquired by exploring the Coronis Expanse, scanning new systems, anomalies, or participating in non-combat space events. The navigator of the flagship uses it to build new warp routes, as well as make them more stable and safe, and as much as it is possible, to the Imperium. Soto's tomb. Trinitos. Evioris. So life would fall, so that's what Janus is. Calamity of the Industrial World. So there's Kiavagama over there in Kranich. I guess we can go to Soto's tomb first. So Omicron System Speculo. I'm guessing it's like difficulty of stuff. So let's go to Soto's tomb first. The route is safe. And ship senior officers want to talk with me. Analyzing external hardware. Lord Captain, says Heinrich Montag, if I may request your attention for a moment, I must report a series of highly dangerous violations that have taken place in the fuel compartment. The Master-at-Arms is ignoring my demands, and I am thus forced to appeal directly to you. The fuelers have founded a sect of some kind. This group practices fire worship of the Emperor and have been burning promethium near the fuel lines. I beg you to stop this madness before we all go up in flames. Jagasta Sarbeck says, I should point out that there have been no incidents in the fuel compartment so far, and that the beliefs of the sect do not affect the obedience of the workers or their efficiency in any way. All assemblies are conducted strictly after hours at the permission of their superiors. However, if you find their practices unacceptable, we will put a stop to them immediately. What? They're burning my promethium? The amount of residue accumulated in the drainage tanks was so laughably small that it was not even worth recording. If there were any real misappropriation of the ship's resources happening here, I would have already punished those involved, Lord Captain. The last sentence carries a faint note of regret. Does the Ecclesiarchy recognize this cult, or is it considered heretical? This matter is beyond my purview. Let Confessor Adalbert be the judge of such business. A plump, rosy-cheeked old man steps forward, his voice deep and sonorous. The Emperor protects your lordship. I can assure you that there is no heresy festering in the fuel compartment. The sect of the Fire Prophecies has been tested for purity and found to be in accordance with the Creed. Their leader, who calls himself the Oracle of Fire, is devout and submissive to his servants. They do not twist the sacred teachings, and as for their chosen forms of worship, they are neither rare nor remarkable. Many such minor cults exist in the Imperium with the approval of the Ecclesiarchy. Does this Oracle of Fire really make prophecies? At least he and his flock believe that the Emperor reveals glimpses of the possible future to him in the sacred flame. Occasionally, his visions do come true, or so his followers convince themselves. We do not know whether the grace of the God Emperor truly lies upon him, or if he is merely a charlatan, or perhaps a blissful lunatic, or a wicked rogue who possesses psychic powers not tempered by his will. A croaked voice interrupts the confessor's words. Lord Captain, as choir master of the Astropathic Choir, I must be watchful of any threats to the ship's safety originating from the Immaterium. I have heard rumors about this oracle, and so I have sent my adepts to see him. They assert that the man is a psyker. This man who speaks to the warp is a danger to himself and to the entire vessel. Both law and common sense dictate that he should be thrown into a holding cell, tranquilized, and handed over to the Inquisition to be sent to Holy Terra. Alternatively, you may also dispose of him in some other way. Throw the Oracle into a holding cell and hand him over to the authorities at the first port we visit. It will be done, Lord Captain. I will see to it that he remains unconscious and his dangerous powers are kept in check. As for the cult, I'm sure it will dissolve on its own without its spiritual leader. So yeah, I think I still have well-deserved rest. Speaking of which, I should probably visit the chapel to do a little prayer to the Emperor. shrine. And also equip Biomancer Staff. Power level is lower, but I like the Siphon Life. Still got the long lens. The recited prayer, the one you remember best. Reverent prayer, also want to resolve in the next combat. Back to the bridge. Okay. And the Coronis Expanse map. Okay. Time to chart our first system. We got pirates, we got space dust, and space dust. Well, let's deal with the space dust first. Got a bunch of fuel. More fuel. Clean up these pirates. Although first I should probably see about creating the hole some more. Development. Posts, all features. Shield Master. You're the best for it. Master of Maneuvers. Warp Channeler. Yeah, let's put Heinrichs on that. Master of Etherics, because you're the best. Cassie would also be good. I guess I can do that. You don't have any abilities though. Everything's all upgraded. Let's go fight some pirates.
I lift up my voice in prayer for this vessel and its hollowed guns.
Straight line is fully turned at the end. Let's move up one. Fire the dorsal. do a little bit side bashing. Then move here. Let's get the shields going. That is the turn. Nice. Well, let's go ahead and get a little bit of damage on you. Torpedo control. The other cannon's going. Go and do the swing run. Nice. And plasma torpedoes can do their thing. Let's go turn a little. Get the broadside, and that's combat. Nice pile of scrap, some trophies. And we uncover a new world. The scan. Such as tomb. Nice world. Added in. Plop down an extracticum on that plasteel. Imperium cartographers and chroniclers know this place well. Long ago, the planet was a prosperous outpost capable of eclipsing even footfall. There used to be a Cyclopean tomb station on its orbit. Final resting place of Cornelius Soto, one of the discoverers of the Coronis Expanse. The tomb gave its name to the entire system. However, about 400 years ago, an unknown cosmic body rammed into the station, causing it to collapse onto the planet. Not only did the catastrophe kill the settlers, but it also made the world uninhabitable for centuries. The crater formed by the station's impact can still be observed from orbit. Soto's tomb became a sepulchre for the entire planet. This sordid place is neither life nor loot, but knowing the nasty tricks that life can pull is a treasure in its own right. Anyway, I guess we can pop out of the world and see about finding our next path. Chart new routes. We can go immediately to Avorius. The route is unsafe. What does that mean? Cabela says, as I am now fated to be your shadow domain Azathoul, we must perform a ritual that will seal our bond, where it pleases the Undying. Let us speak on the bridge, and I will take us to a place appropriate for the ritual. I will be there. Thank you, Johnny. I wish to inform you that the sacred rituals addressed to the spirit of this ship have been performed. The tech liturgy and the rite of the machine blessed ended with the data meditation in order to comprehend the nature of the miracle sent down by the Omnissiah. Acquisition of sacred knowledge has not been reported. How the spirit of the void ship was able to call upon the power of the machine god and activate the warp drive remains unknown. Yet, during my meditative ritual, the Omnissiah gave me an equally valuable revelation. The sacred spirit that lives in the bells of the ship's mechanisms differs from other analogous forms. This spirit holds a unique power that cannot be called anything less than a blessing of the machine god. So what does this mean? Hypothesis. In extremis, the ship's spirit is capable of making unpredictable calculations and actions. It is impossible to predict how it will behave in any given situation, but I believe the spirit is currently showing obedience, at least for now. I recommend we continue monitoring the ship and be prepared for new manifestations. Remind me what you wanted to find out? When the ship's warp engine was filled with motive force, despite the massive computational errors, a true technological miracle was achieved. No doubt it was the grace of the Omnissiah, but no such occurrences have been described in the catalog before. Hoping to gain sacred knowledge of the nature of what happened, I embarked on blessed research and prayer. The report is received. Thank you, Pascal. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. The warp jump went surprisingly smoothly. None of the deck officers on duty reported any incidents. However, a strange discovery awaited the Lord Captain when he returned to his quarters. The bed was unmade, and the impression of a head was still visible on the pillow. There were no other signs of intrusion. The guards swore under oath that nobody had entered the Lord Captain's quarters. The Immaterium released us from its grip this time. As we plop into it. Well, first let's check new routes. Forgotten Twins. And then visit Evioris. I guess we can just sweep around. We can scan a desert world, the hermitage, and some adamantine. Come placed. In the hermitage, a small human dwelling stands on this barren, deserted planet. Scouts report that an old hermit lives there, who spends his days in prayers to the Emperor. Ask the old hermit for a blessing. To Lord Captain's surprise, the old hermit turned out to be a navigator, and when the old man discovered the noble status of his visitor, he willingly recounted his tale. He had retreated to this planet long ago, back when he was still in his youth, after he had realized that his mind would not withstand frequent forays into the Immaterium, the realm of the archenemy. The hermit spoke with pride about how he had worshipped the Emperor each and every moment of his life, but when he mentioned the golden light of the Astronomicon, his voice quivered. When his guests left, he stared after them for a long time, his gaze filled with sadness. Visit planets before dropping by the drifting void ship. Nothing. I happen to have read about that. You expected me to read all that? That is not a dead world. Oh. I happen to have read about burning worlds in Pandora. It is said the fires that have been raging for close to a century, though no one knows how. Well, how long has this one been burning? It's like a toxic world. Ah, provisions. Smells cache. Might as well drop down the extract good. And we got some medkits, crack grenades, and frag grenades. How nice. And a gas drive. Which had some stuff for us. How close am I to fulfilling the ruler? Criminal was lost. Study 10 planets. In time. Did I not? Oh. And a drifting void ship. Let's see what's up. I wonder if I could reclaim this. Although before I do, I probably should hit the bathroom. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. What? I'll probably take another bio break in about 30 to 40 minutes. Got time for dinner. Yeah. Up there. Go, Pascal! Anyway.
Let's proceed.
There's a door. Stomach-churning bloody smears on the wall form a malevolent symbol. The blood seems to have penetrated deep into the metal. You can clear a passage with explosives up here.
The Emperor favors me today.
Sneak through and get access to that safe. Pascal!
My success is an
Pick that
irrefutable
lock.
certainty.
Getting some stuff. Make sure everyone is properly, fully equipped. Minimize as much as I can be. Oh yeah, I should get some medikits on you. Maybe some stun grenades. Fire. I think fire is going to be useful soon. Also, don't you have... Yeah, Fire Blessed Carapace, so you're immune to fire. Yeah. Or at least immune to burning. Highly resistant to fire. Dull sounds produced by the ventilation systems create an illusion that the ship is breathing, like a living and terribly sick creature. There's a mad tech priest up ahead, and a door over there. This is bad, very bad. The Emissari's grace has forsaken this place and these brethren. Tech priest can barely stand. From many wounds where pieces of flesh used to be, blood mixed with oil seeping out. And there's some goods. Maglock scabbards. And low capacity field things.
Initiating dynamic exploration canticle.
There's also a door back here. Oh. Let's be very careful. Send my Ms. Demolition.
Join me in prayer.
Disarm that real
Never
quick.
doubt me.
Yay. Loot. Revocateur's helmet. Penalty to all attacks made against... Applies a minus 10 penalty to perception for all attacks made against the wearer and to all enemy... all enemies in a 2-cell radius around the wearer. Not sure who that would be good for. Also one resolve whenever you kill an enemy. You get the extra, you get the tactical goggles. Really, it would be good for the Helm's determination. Whatever. See, that thing is red. I have a feeling I should shoot it.
Showing up uninvited? How improper!
That's grumpy. Why don't you just go ahead and get in there? So looking like I will have... Start the battle. There's already some warp influence here. Oh, I can just kill the thing. Let's get warp speed down on iron arms. Actually, no. Get relocate our guy. Get some extra wounds on. Warp speed. Oh. That, and then Word of the Emperor on. Yeah, I guess I can get some extra temporary hit points on people. He is infuriated. Well, Grumpy, why don't you just go ahead and snap him out?
Whatever you wish.
Dark reddish blotches form the words on Messiah, the hour is upon us. Your imagination is playing tricks on you, making you see faces twisted in a scream and stains on the metal. Open the damaged door with Pascal. Abelard, announce me, Pascal. Pick that lock.
Knowledge is eternal.
Some more goods, another mad tech priest. Seeing any friends? Clutching the soldering iron in his left hand, the priest casually solders the contacts on the implant in his right hand to the panel. Well, time to go again. Shadows are reversed for a moment.
Blessed be the road that we take.
Emperor, protect us. This is a house of darkness and corruption. Well, sorry, mate.
They will bow before me.
So get me out of the way. Abelard up. Actually, let's get Grumpy up so he can do the thing. Grumpy, I should just go ahead and clean out the poor bastard. That did not shut off the electricity.
This master-crafted patella augment is not fit for a servitor.
Is a reward.
kinds of fresh injuries. Okay.
The healing is much appreciated.
I really hate it when the medikits don't
Field medicine at its finest.
function.
Careful now.
There we go. Oh. Well. Crippled arm. Oh man. Skill reduced. That's just mean. Anyway. Get the power, probably could have just had one guy move through. Lower warp 55. There's a notable sign of warp activity here. What spectacle you witnessed may have been simple illusions or a vision of the future. Bunch of stuff. Crystallized darkness, more amulets. We must purge the heretics. Yes, do my dance. Oh, this guy actually has some loot on him. It's just a flak.
Carry the Emperor's will as your
I'm a similar. That will not do at all. Go as though. Serval skull key characteristic beyond sanity. Suffers no damage from area attacks, but is hit by a melee attack, it immediately deals Overseer's heretical rank mental damage. Let's see, scraps of skin and broken nails and teeth are stuck in the ragged grooves on the bulkhead. Someone made a frenzied attempt to scratch the blasphemous symbols into the metal, showing themselves no mercy. What now? Cursed flesh, you betray me. I'm drowning in the mire of flesh and sinew, but my spirit longs for the perfection of the machine. Tech comrade, you are in need of a ritual protocol of repair. We will mend you. Yes, we will mend you. Okay.
I must thank you, esteemed Magos. After your intervention, I feel 50 years younger. Both my knee implants are as good as new.
I agreed to help out of respect for the priceless array of augmentations placed in your body. Such sacred creations deserve the best maintenance available.
That's to Pascal after we disarm the trap.
Duty prevails.
Ready
Yes,
for data
okay.
input. This explorator is blessed with
Augmented gloves,
multifunctionality.
plus 10 weapon skill and plus 5 strength. Do you have good gloves? No. Heavy. Throw the wearer's turn, again, plus 20 dodge, another round. Actually, let's put the Perfector's helmet on you. And then gather the party once more.
Onward!
O machine god, deliver me from the oppression of the flesh, and draw closer to the perfection of a mechanism. Hey, Grumpy, why don't you just take out the mad tech priest? Huh. Okay. Yeah, it's a dead-eye shot. Can I just not? Weird. Fair enough. It's just mumbling an incoherent series of terms and designations. The middle field is a little warm and somewhat moist to the touch, remarkably similar to living skin. Three sides are completely empty, going through you without seeing you.
It is my destiny to traverse the unknown.
It's a compressor hull main cogitator. Expected value 10. 5. Well, there's the throw. I don't know, Grumpy. Seven, 10. 5, 7, because it's 5, 2, 7, 2. I think this one was 1.
What deeds await us?
Turn on the backup generator.
Operation successful.
Okay. Clear the passage with explosives.
I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
So yeah, let's get a couple disarms going. Get some goods. Is that it for this place? I mean, I probably need to fight some stuff on the way
shall
out.
it be.
Many modules providing power to a massive ship. And now to fight a bunch of servitors. And some others. Mad Technomats. Okay, Grumpy. Herald of Corruption. I will need to shoot. 100, 112, 29, 33, 33. Let's get Abelard up. Magenta can start over here. We'll start here. Cassidy can start here. Pascal. Let's go for there. Okay.
Victory is imminent.
Brace for impact. Step there. Charge there.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. An exemplary strike. At your beck and call.
Strike.
Indeed. Target well struck.
Grumpy. Hurts. Orchestrate those flames. Can't do where it hurts, but we can do where the blood does. Hasn't though. Let's go ahead and have the bird relocate in here, so you can get some buffs out. Warp speed. The temporary hit points down as well. Word of the Emperor. No. This one's starting unlocking. My turn.
That's something worse.
Oh, man.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
No. Magenta. resolve up. Wildfire. Concentrate the fire down. Absolutely blow that down.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
So go ahead and go up there.
Guided by faith.
Okay. So, first order of business. Can't actually order anyone around because you can't see them. Right, this side is going to be a huge issue. There's a fear.
Emperor, give me strength.
Forcing the mad lodge us out of cover. Buff up Abelard. Let's see, 5 bait. Division soaring. Oh, that was actually a good.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. That is foolishness.
Argento, why don't you take some shots?
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
So. Relocate those skulls over there. Priority signal.
Setting target parameters. Protect them if you need it. The Omnissiah
Put the drone in here.
comprehends all.
That's your turn. Abelard, endure. So wildfires on the top.
Victory
The
is
strike.
imminent.
Charge.
It will be done. Indeed.
And then, I think I'll save that during reach a little later. But I will get that death waltz going. After I do where it hurts. And then... 1... 2... Do a little bit of blade dancing. Shift over here. Heave. go here, start working on this Med Magos. Orchestrate flames. And just absolutely ends his whole run. Alright, Azathoul. Let's get you over here. For your warp speed. Actually, let's relocate the Raven here. Yeah! Get a little bit of healing. Oh. Never mind. Still can't put that through. Let's run and gun. Let's get that extra little bit of movement. Take out the Herald of Corruption. And I guess take a pot shot over there. Nice. Argenta.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
A little bit of concentrated fire.
This is why I was chosen.
Cassia.
If I may, I have a foe painted black. Do not dare ask.
Yeah, sure, let's give Abelard a turn.
In the name of House Orcelio, I shall prevail.
Argenta, my dear.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
Concentrated fire.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Firing pattern detected.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
I request a mandatory ocular augmentation.
Anyway. Let's go ahead and bring that down.
I'm afraid not.
Howdy, Matthew. How do?
That is foolishness.
Pascal. I feel like GW is going out of its way to appeal to people that don't give a damn about the series. And enemies. Train Spirit Banishment.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
It's not like GW has been making good decisions about Warhammer for a while. But... yeah. Run! Run, Grumpy! You can get to the servitor before somebody else does. Maybe. Do I have my sight? Not quite. Sniper, relocate the bird. It's my turn. Argenta. You can do some good stuff.
As the Emperor
That's
commands,
for
I
fire.
act. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it.
But it should also be noted that I am an absolute secondary.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
And that's the last one handled. And there is the loot. Marksman rifle. Much better than what I currently have. Frag, sniper, plasma pistol.
Calculating optimal route.
Let's see, you got the grenadiers. I want the tech use. You.
My success is
The behavior of the Transformers was caused by no common mechanical malfunction. It's possible that the cause was supernatural in origin. Another sniper rifle, it's a flak. Hang on that last guy. I think I am going to equip that new... sniper. So I can find it in my piles of guns. Rebels sniper rifle. Yeah, there's new traps.
The light of terror shines for us. I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging and sobbing and howling.
The Megos, a couple more Technomats. Anyway.
A nice little stroll.
In we go.
I see your darkened colors.
Let's see. Let's get Avalar up in there ASAP. Actually, let's get Grumpy over... No, I want to feed him chaff ASAP. Scowl. Magenta. Zenith. And... Come Abelard. Magenta up as well. And then finally myself. Man, Perils of the Wolf are high. Okay. 100. Can you even hit the Herald of Corruption? You can, actually. Let's see. So how about I have you up here. Up the Vox Skull. And prepare to do a bunch of stuff. So next is servitors and other stuff. Lesson.
No! These ruby flashes are killing me!
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Cassia. There's the other Herald of Corruption. Over there. What happens when you open your... Not a whole lot. Oh, it's great. It's one thing they've done that Alcat has actually done well this time around is the character writing. Although I figure I haven't played Wrath of the Righteous just yet, but I wasn't too fond of the companions in Kingmaker. Let's do reveal the lights.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
How about you move over here? And do obstruct vision on that techno map.
Be careful not to cross my gaze.
Zone of Fear to force those two closer to
insist, Lord
them.
Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Live bait as well. Okay, Argento. Some good opportunities for damage here. So we can move up there.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Concentrated fire.
Faith without deed. Strike is a prayer. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Get another shot down.
Doubt is for the weak.
So can't really use... Okay, let's move the Raven here. Get Word of the Emperor down. And get over here. Actually, cannot hit the Herald of Corruption there. You can hit that one. Can't lose anything else.
I've suffered
Can
worse.
Abelard get his turn now? Scout.
The scriptural prognosis is
Let's go ahead and get
abide in the host of blessed creations of the Omnissiah.
that handled. Get into cover as well.
Explorers know one route. Forward.
Abelard,
At your beck and call.
it's time.
I will
Endure.
do my duty.
Become priority target. Reckless strike.
It will be done. Very exemplary strike. At your beck and call.
And push him away. Alright. Yeah, you're gonna threaten perils there. And whereabouts?
Target well struck.
Nice. Let's have you try to
Step
get out of
aside.
range.
The navigator is coming.
Let's get live bait down there. Open your eye. No. Let's help Abelard. Clear things
Victory is imminent. We'll
Let's
rule the
return
stars
because-
themselves.
Simply because I can.
Indeed.
Endure some more.
It
Reckless
will be done.
strike.
At your beck and call.
Continue with all of that. And see if you can't start taking out some of those Vox skulls.
A tactically sound approach.
Okay. Cassia.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
And Real Light.
If I may,
Really need to take out those things. Magenta, can you take... Somehow it's behind cover. And that one's just absolutely out of sight. Okay.
Rejoice in battle! I'll do it.
Suboptimal.
Go there. Take some pot shots at that guy with corruption. That one. Damn. Heavy move one over, but that's not gonna help. Purification discharge.
Grey hair? Sure hair.
Alright, let's go. Let's pop joint analysis. There. Smash that other herald. Machine spirit banishment. So, first let's get there.
My place is at the fort. I will do my duty. An exemplary strike. At your beck and call. Victory is...
And then we'll
follow my lead.
take care of that thing in a little bit. Grumpy. Time to do a little bit of cleaning. And then Acrobatic Artistry, just return where you were. Guess, yeah. Let's move over here.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Press command.
Do not dare ask. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Now then.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I am his will made manifest. This is unacceptable. You, my emperor! I'll do it. This is why I was
carefully
chosen.
Unload into the servitor.
As the emperor commands, I act.
Thanks, Cassia. Argenta.
Faith without deeds is worthless. You can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Avoid that slaughter. These as the can move up. Start taking some shots. And just completely miss. I can reload. Okay, the Cyber Raven there. Do a little bit of purification and discharge. Mask. How about you move there?
As the tactical imperative dictates,
Start using your arc rifle.
machine spirit.
Range lances. Start looking at that Mad Magos. And I move you over here. Clean up that Vox skull. And then charge back there to take care of the Herald of Corruption. And then over here, to make
I've
yourself a
seen worse
priority.
battles than this in my time.
And then shuffle into
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Swoop. Swoop. Ignite. Do that. Just absolutely crater the servitor. Acrobatically artist away. It's probably a mistake. Well, now that the place is clear, can't quite get away with that.
My commands are followed without hesitation.
And then life bait on the other ward. God damn. Anyway, Argenta.
I
Why don't
will
we just go
bathe
ahead
this
and
battlefield in righteous...
finish some things off. And it's time for me to get some dinner, so I will be right back. Just got water. I return with a little bit of food. I break off. Now to collect all the loot. Stub carbine, carapace chest plate. Where are those stub carbines? Alright.
I've never wondered so much before.
This warp-damned ship. And more traps. For some reason, Grumpy is really good at demolition.
Activating Tech Familiar Movement Protocol.
Stop! There!
Okay.
Sins hidden in the heart turn all to decay. Blessed be the road that we take. I better myself through my service.
A formidable-looking door blocks the way into the next module. It's covered in scratches as if someone clawed at the cold metal for a very, very long time. The door does not respond to your touch and stands fast, refusing to open. The writing above the doorway reads, Main Computing Cathedral. The tech priest blesses himself with a protective symbol, his hands visibly shaking. Shield us, O machine god, from the evil that has taken hold of your temple. Save us and preserve us from the corruption. Show us the way. The sacred metal that bars our path is weakened. Let us appeal to the machine spirit of one of the generators, so the metal may drink from its blessed energies. There should be one hidden somewhere in the module. What is this evil you mentioned? Tech priest says nothing for a while, and then his vox comes to life, but the voice is hoarse, punctuated by static and interference. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. I am merely his servant. I cannot discern what has stricken the abode of the machine god, but I do sense a distortion of the structure, disfigurement of the molecular order. This ship is sick. Further conversing is unproductive. The will of the Omnissiah has brought us to these doors, thus our task is clear. Search for a way to proceed beyond, so we can discover a means of cleansing these halls. So, the door and adjacent section of the bay have no power. There must be a backup generator somewhere nearby. Once you've turned it on, you should be able to proceed. Restore power.
Let's proceed.
Let's make sure everyone's gathered up. Oh, there's more. Headhunter light carapace. You get the holy vestments. Armored body glove. You already got something. It's been serving you pretty well. It's just... This place is chaos corrupted as all hell. Magos Tiberius Mala. The air in the room is permeated by a wild mixture of miasmas, both mechanical and biological in origin. Blood, rust, vomit, machine oil, excrement, kerosene, all of these smells blend together into a thick stench that almost feels palpable. Magos Tiberius Malo. Just as the air here is one mad tangle of odors, the device in front of you is a mishmash of wriggling wires and transplanted fragments. In all the clutter, one could almost miss the main component. A heavily augmented man whose upper body is embedded into the frame of the machine, dozens of wires piercing his flesh. A crust of congealed blood and other bodily fluids covers the man's entire body, but his eyes are open and his gaze is keen. This gaze is turned to you, devoid of surprise or difference. Who are you, disturbing the peace of holy martyrs in the home of our grief? What do you want? Symbols of your brother and protect them. So you Who are you? A servant of the Omnissiah, an acolyte of the machine, a prisoner of purgatory, and a keeper of corruption. The man whispers via the implanted vox. Every word or motion causes his crippled body to shudder. Bloody foam glints from the inside of the wire-pierced wounds. What happened to your ship? Ship? There is no ship. There is only purgatory. Simple higher calling. Statement is false. Registering corruption in this unit identical to that surrounding us. I'm registering a violation of the cleansing protocol, which dictates steering the ship into the heart of the nearest star for the purpose of cleansing annihilation. I'm registering betrayal of the sacred machine spirits placed in charge of those weak in faith. The man looks at his comrade and replies with a long series of clicks in technolingua. Permission to use the sacred language has been revoked. Impurity will not be permitted to enter the pure speech of Binheric. Symbols of your brethren protect themselves with their symbols of chaos. Your knowledge is lacking, Invader. Those are secret holy symbols imparted to us by the Omnissiah. There is no fate more honorable than purgation through suffering in the name of faith, but you were deceived, servant of the Omnissiah. Your torment is not holding back the corruption, it is sustaining it. It is not too late to expel the blight. The man's eyes clear for a moment. They still lack understanding, but there's a hint of surprise. He slowly looks around the room at the ecstatic priests. At his own mangled body, the vox hisses as if he is struggling to say something. Suddenly, the mingling stench in the room is drowned out by the sharp, piercing smell of ozone and grease. You sense that the nauseating atmosphere that prevailed in the room is condensed into a single point of evil in the depths of the ship. It is now hurtling towards you. Oh, that's fun. Got ourselves a Forge Fiend. Extrapolation influenced. Let's see, Raging Fiend. Whenever this creature suffers damage the first time in a round, becomes enraged and strikes back after every additional attack. Suffered for surveillance as well. Pascal. And put there. Prudential will move off to the side to clean out all of that trouble. Grumpy is going to get to act first. So we should have him there clear out the servo skull. Lord won't be able to act for a while. Let's have him over here. Cassia, over there. Zenith there. Myself here. guess this has to be there. Alright, Grumpy. So clearing out some of these annoyances. Flames. Keep them going.
Setting target parameters for tech familiar units.
Priority signal.
The Omnissiah knows. Comprehends.
It's your turn. Yep, can't do shit. Now what I can do is start knocking out servo skulls.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Alright. Concentrate fire.
Doubt is for the weak. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
What? Why did you do that? Okay, fine, whatever.
It will be done. My place is at the fore.
Taunting screen down.
I will do my duty.
Cassia. Do a thing. So let's do some pet fun. Nice.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's right there.
Neither of us has to fight alone anymore.
My ears are ringing.
Just dunk. Good work. Sacrifice some wounds.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
And put the Forge Fiend down.
Running by now. Request approved. My vow is to serve.
Very good. We also get an extra shot. Yay! That's Forge Fiend taken care of with no losses. The man's mutilated bodies are racked by wave after wave of convulsions. Evil. That was evil incarnate. Evil. The corruption that watches us day and night. Suddenly the man raises his head and looks you straight in the eye. You have banished the evil. You tried to warn me, but I was deaf. The ship, Kiavagama, followed us from there. Kiavagama? Is this where your ship is from? Yes. The man whispers. The ship and the planet. The traitors among our brethren, tormenting the sacred mechanisms, letting corruption into their systems. They turn that which is holy into the unholy, and they set these new twisted machines on us, their tech comrades. They managed to flee, but one of the monsters found its way onto the ship. A tear appears at the corner of his eye. He thrashes frantically in the mess of wires piercing his body. We fought. We cut off one module after another, as one cuts away rotting flesh, but it followed. Its invisible influence, the corruption it exuded, it claimed us one by one. The crews were merely humans of flesh and blood. They were so weak. They succumbed so easily. We could not save them from evil, and so we gave the ship to the darkness among the stars. But the darkness came for us too. In this last module, where we intended to make our last stand, and I sacrificed myself. I became filter, a stopper against the corruption emanating from the machine. I succumbed. The corruption comes for our souls, the corruption of Kiavagama, traitors. With the last of his efforts, he rasps the fabricator's sensor. It all started with him. He was the one who let this change into the sacred code. He was the one who doomed our brethren. He was the one who spawned the steel monstrosities in the furnace of our planet. Rest in peace, you will be avenged. I was a part of the great force that drives the universe. I do not fear the cold of death. A wheezing breath escapes the man's chest, and then his eyes close. And we get Dimensional Traveler Cloak. If we were heretical, where this cloak gains a psychic power to allow them to sacrifice wounds to immediately teleport anywhere within 4 cells. And we got a Diagnoster, which gives bonus Medicaid. This pile of armor. Holy war, 94%! Let's succeed. The empty shell of a demon engine, it was this creation. A horrifying mix of real space technologies and the deranged power of the warps that disrupted the ship's systems and twisted the tech priests' minds. Spooky. And we got ourselves a level! Yay! Getting overcharge. Super even immediately heals to full. Mobilized, prone, and stunned are removed, and the Overseer's next 3 abilities cost 1 AP less. Until the end of combat, the Overseer can relay attacking psychic powers for the cyber. Yes, please. So to the end of combat, the Archmilitant makes one additional attack each turn, including one additional attack on the turn this heroic act is used. Fresh attack after using this ability, and each turn afterwards costs 0 AP. Nice. Overcharged there. Till the end of combat, the Overseer's allies also ignore the cover of enemies that are under surveillance. Ooh. Additionally, enemies within 4 cells of the Servo Skull Swarm are immune to critical hits. Dear lord. Overcharged. Until the end of combat, the obstructed enemies' attacks in the direction of the Cyber Eagle that enemies' allies are automatically critical hits. Dear lord. The Carnival of Misery. The Executioner makes an attack with their primary weapon on hit. The target suffers weapon damage, and if it's affected by any damage over time effects, immediately suffers 4 additional instances of the damage from those effects. Grumpy Jack is going to be a great boss killer. And I think that is it for this encounter. Huzzah. Return to the Void Ship, heal up. It's another sector explored. Why can I not destroy it? I really ought to be able to destroy that. Okay, but there's definitely chaos problems at Keovakama. Looks like Trinitos is our next. The route is dangerous. Start the course, deadly. So we'll go back to Furibundus. Strange behaviors in certain ship systems. All decks report uncontrollable opening. A little bit of instability. It's fine. And I'm going to warp to the Imperium. Say, Lord Captain, I hasten to report the disturbing news brought to me by the machine spirits. The matter is extremely delicate and concerns Lady Cassia. You see, since her first day aboard, her presence has caused disturbances in the crew's way of life. If you'll allow it, I have prepared a detailed report. Deliver it. First incident occurred immediately after our departure from Yurok 5. The Lady Navigator chastised one of the ship's runners, after which he went to his living quarters, killed his family, and then shot himself. The second incident was reported while traversing the warp. The Lady Navigator gave the pilots the wrong instructions, and the void ship was thrown off course for a matter of minutes, but it was enough for the forces of the Immaterium to anger the machine spirits, enough for them to start fire in the service bay. After that, the officers living near the Lady Navigator's quarters began to express extreme emotions: hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. This is quite detrimental to crew morale and performance. The last incident was recorded on Footfall. Around 100 living birds were delivered on board during our stay on Footfall. Each bird cost a hefty sum, but I have failed to discover their purpose and subsequent fate. I was also told about a conflict between the Lady Navigator and the Seneschal. Alas, with no details. If you like, you can ask Master Worsarian directly. Things are even worse with Jay Hidari. I intercepted a Voxcast in which she promised she would, and I quote, end that Casca if she ever saw her again. If I may, Lord Captain, the Lady Navigator's state of mind worries me. She's self-contained and does not mesh with the crew at all, which is why everyone avoids her. Even senior officers can be superstitious. I fear that only you are in a position to talk to her on an equal footing and improve the situation, for the sake of the crew's safety, and that of Lady Cassia herself. Lord Captain, Ravor on the line. The astropaths are going crazy in their little chamber. They're reporting severe warp disturbances along our intended route. Looks like the maw is completely impassable. I've seen this before, yes, and if you ask me, going in there is not a good idea for us or any other void ship. I did not inherit this void ship, only to destroy it in the roiling immaterium. Let someone else, let someone less valuable deal with the maw. Let's see to it, Lord Captain. So, let's go ahead and head to Trinitas. Lord Captain, permission to address you with a request. Our head chirurgeon is sabotaging the ship's operations. He's quarantined several Voidsman crew on account of a piddling sickness. People don't even go to the medbay when they come down with it. They just wipe their noses and keep working. Only a dozen or so die from it in a whole year. We're sitting on our hands here, so I ask you to talk some sense to him. Letard Forius. Your vox clicks and you hear a dry, nonchalant response. Greetings, your lordship. My name is Letard Forius, and I am the chirurgeon majoris on this vessel. As your chief Medicae specialist, I assure you that the quarantine is well warranted. That this piddling sickness has claimed the lives of a number of meritorious officers in the past. This time, I intend to get the epidemic under control, study the disease thoroughly, and develop a proper cure. I hope you will agree that a single period of downtime is a small price to pay for the numbers of lives that will be saved and the increase in the crew's performance during other such outbreaks in the future. Not to mention the fact that we don't have to waste time or waste stimulants due to the afflicted using them as a crutch to offset their limited work capacity. How do you intend to study this disease? By gathering enough infected individuals together, letting the illness progress, comprehending its properties, and finally killing it. Let's see. The disease is goes through several stages, with each containing clues to its nature and vulnerabilities. The Voidsman will have to stay sick for some time until I discover the cure, assuming, of course, that the disease is reversible in its final stages. The Voidsmen are to be treated and put back to work. If you want test subjects, tell the Master-at-Arms to provide you with the required number of convicts and other riffraff. This may limit the potential of study, but this approach is also acceptable. I will make up for the lack of material with my expertise. Thank you for taking your crew's health into consideration. Should you require my services, you may find me on the bridge, your lordship. And another thing. Let's see, Lord Captain, I bring dire news. A feud has broken out between the clans that maintain the Void Shield arrays. Rumor has it that the late Lady Theodora was seen on the lower decks, and so one of the families called for rebellion against the usurper of the Void Ship, that is, you. So far, no one believes their mad tales, but unrest has begun at the fringes of the compartments. The ship's enforcers are ready to eliminate the instigating clan or pacify the entire Void Shield crew. The choice is yours. Find the sources of the rumors and punish those responsible. I don't want any unnecessary deaths. Lord Captain, as Seneschal Borsarian would say, there are no innocents in such cases. The clans are endangering the entire Void Ship, tussling over a strange and obviously false rumor. If you so desire, I will convey your wishes to the enforcers later, but right now the unrest must be stopped and the people returned to their direct duties were replaced. Let's see. Pacify the entire Void Shield crew. Those who succumbed to the provocations of the unruly are no less guilty. I'll say to it, Lord Captain. Let's see what's going on in Trinitos. Some unknown ships. And some planets. Swoop. Hey. Another extracticum. There, I'll need to pick up some more. The Feral World. A dead world? I was hoping to avoid the hostiles.
All stations, report when manned and ready.
Eldari Shadow Hunters. Hollowfield. Protect me by enemies. Alright, let's go and get those out then. They got their own torpedoes. Let's go move here. Let's move there. Do a little bit of dorsal attacking. Okay. Huh? Forgot the Missile Lance over there. Yeah, took care of my own torpedoes. All right. Swing around. Get some more torpedoes going. Torpedo control. Get a bit of dorsal fire going. combat.
The effectiveness of the crew has been recognized as adequate.
And I apparently have enough something to upgrade the ship and some. So. Warp wave would be nice. New heading. While moving, the flagship may make its next turn at 90 degrees instead of 45. Arc augury. Ship's next 2 shots have +2 range. Let's go for the warp wave. And reinforced shields. Check out this one. Monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Lord Captain. Received transmission from Falstone. It was sent by members of the Order of the Hammer, votaries of St. Cognatius, or Cognatius, whose monastery is the only settlement on the planet, or rather it used to be. Some time ago, a transport vessel, the Navica, unloaded several thousand refugees from a planet belonging to the rogue trader Winterscale. The Order of the Hammer has judged this invasion to be an act of aggression and is asking for your lordship's protection. Let's see. We will not abandon people of faith and distress. Prepare a landing party on my shuttle. I'm taking the monastery under my protection, as it pleases your lordship. 11 days after the feast of the passing of Nicodemus Keefe, the champion of faith, disquietude marred the calm of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Countless tortured souls, steeped in fear, arrived on Fellstone in a starbark. A great apostasy had befallen their home, turned them into abject wanderers seeking help and refuge. Their wicked and cruel captain, the owner of the Navica, had betrayed them. Once the unknowing souls in his care had made landfall on the world's surface, he most deviously recalled his shuttles and left, thus ridding himself of his duty to care for the unfortunate lot. Not knowing how they would survive in Fellstone's grim wastelands, the Forsaken people came to the monastery of St. Cognatius, where they surrounded its walls. They hammered their fists on its gates and implored in wailed, "Take us in, protect us!" And what was once a place of serenity and grace was now filled with din, or full of din, disorder, and all manner of things despicable. The interlopers brought with them worldly futility and strife, and mayhap also the seeds of alluring blasphemies, if fiendly heathens lurked in their midst. After a prayer, the prelate's Hectarchius turned his eyes to the past in search of instruction. The prelate recalled the first missionaries to set foot on Fellstone's vast wasteland, led by their zeal for serving St. Cognatius. And those missionaries had received the blessings of Nicodemus Keefe, the champion of faith who had traveled with them in their starbark, to found in this place a humble and pure abode wherein to cultivate wisdom and piety. And St. Cognatius, a man of great endeavors, a warrior and a wise artificer, never cowered behind the walls of a librarium, but stepped bravely into the darkness, carrying light in the palm of his hand, and he commanded others to do the same, and not only Fellstone, but many other worlds of the Coronus Expanse bear his imprint. And Prelate Hectarchius did welcome the interlopers warmly as his guests, but he did warn his brethren to keep their vigilance. The brethren and the sisters of the Order of the Hammer came forth to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein victuals and medicinal herbs and jugs of promethium. But the crowd came to blows over viands, and blood was spilt, and many were trampled or mauled in the stampede, some of them dwellers of the monastery. Then the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flak cowls, inscribed words of praise to the God Emperor on their tactical visors, and went forth ready to render service in battle. With laser guns and bolters, they pierced the interlopers with their chain swords. With their chain swords and power flails they struck them, and a great and bloody harvest was reaped that day. But the interlopers, too, scant though their armament was, and scanter their skill in battle, slew many among the monastery's dwellers, for great were their numbers and greater their desperation. The monks fled beyond their walls and rang the vox alarium, shut the gate, commanded the armed guards to keep watch over that gate, slaying any who approached. A quarrel broke out. The hungry and sick lay siege to the monastery, begging for help. In their spite, they blocked the water collectors and unpowered the generatorium. The faithful, in the meantime, made ready to resist. And a miracle came to pass. The God Emperor commanded his formidable boarding force to fall upon the interlopers and slay as many as could be slain. And there was a great battle, and the accursed miscreants lost their lives in great numbers. The rest fled swiftly to the wastelands, there to hide in fear. The prelate Hectarchius sent a vox transmission to the rogue trader, beseeching, "Destroy us not, but extend a hand of protection over us, for these wicked people will return to exact their vengeance." The most exalted rogue trader gazed upon Fellstone's expanses and quoth, "Now 'tis mine." And the faithful rejoiced, for henceforth they would have an unwavering and mighty guardian, and they proclaimed for it all to hear. Singing hymns of glory, they unsealed the airlocks and opened the abode's gates, for a great endeavor, and the glorious name of the rogue trader awaited them. Fellstone was to be led to prosperity and faith, to triumph. After a prayer, the architects set to work, in accordance with the saint's teachings, and the parameters set forth in the standard template construct. They erected spacious living quarters and sturdy fort walls for the planetary militia, and a spacious auditorium wherein to trade and store goods, and a proud sensorium within whose walls clerks and servo bondsmen would maintain order and keep statistical records. And a new yet righteous way of life came to Fellstone. The people rejoiced, and all was good. And here I have my first thing. Hammer of Epiphany. Two-handed, probably not going to use it. Lux Project High Throw. Celestial Protector. Dominion of the Hammer. The privilege of becoming Fellstone's patron is a tempting prospect for many. However, with the rogue trader's assistance, the Order of the Hammer will retain ultimate authority over the world, blocking the High Throne and a Celestial Protector in exchange for a Hammer of Epiphany, a lot of reputation with the Drusians, and some extra security. The High Throne. The Ecclesiarchy lacks a capital in the Coronis Expanse from which to guide the faithful. If Fellstone ascends to the status of a cardinal world, the Adeptus Ministorum will ensure the prosperity of their new planetary stronghold. Heretics will tremble when they hear of the alliance between House von Valancius and the Ecclesiarchy. The main Void ship gets +5 critical chance against Chaos enemies. We get some holy gifts and greater efficiency. Or a Celestial Protector. No one in the entire Coronis Expanse will make a worthier guardian of a sanctuary of faith than the head of House von Valancius. A marvelous basilica will be erected in his honor in the world's capital city. It will be decorated with the great twin statue of the Emperor and Rogue Trader. Thousands of parishioners and priests will say his name in their daily prayers and bring him reverent gifts. We will gain benevolent protection, increasing our... allies increase their wounds by Lore Imperium over 15. We get some profit factor and complacency. We rescued the Dominion, or the Order of the Hammer, so let's leave them in charge. That will take some time. Can't start another project just yet. It's a shrine world. Let's go take care of all this fun.
Stand ready to serve you and the Imperium, Lord Captain.
Let's go to reinforce shields. Oh, I have to choose a direction. Same thing at warp wave. A ship immediately turns 45 or 90 degrees depending on the maneuverability. If it suffered hull damage, its abrupt turn deals damage. Alright. Swing around there. Can't quite get the missile lines, but can. Spawn some torpedoes. Can't quite broadside. Let's focus shields on the front. And do a little warp wave there. Oh, but I can get a little bit of fun done there.
Darkness reached us.
Flagship is not doing too hot. Let's go and get as much torpedoes out. Do a little bit of dorsal. Here. Focus shields back. Just out of range there, that's fine. Get shields restarting. Anyway, get those torpedoes going there. And just hold, I think. Focus shields front. Ah, I have to keep moving. Alright. Swing around. Let's go get the Missoula lands going. Focus shields from. Plasma torpedoes moving around. And the plasma torpedoes can do their thing. My amulets. And some more stuff. Maybe equip. Yeah, let's go and do hull repair. Stages. It's a little better than what I got. Has to be broadside. Let's upgrade port first, I suppose. Okay, let's go to this bridge and see what's up. Why do we keep getting... stuff like that? Replace that. Actually, skirmisher boots would be really good on track. Because it's a lot of chances to gain movement points. Anyway, let's go see what's going on in the Expanse. Suppose I can wander back to Rabundus. Lord Captain, we have an emergency. Received word that there's been a sighting in the lower decks. A sighting of Lady Theodora. Messages we received are incomplete and vague. A little more than yelling and hysterical claims. There are reports of casualties and unrest. The compartment in question has already been sealed off. But I thought you might want to look into what's going on yourself. The situation is delicate and especially disturbing. There's mentions of Dira Talas being present at the scene. What's Dira doing there? Dira broke her microbead, so I wasn't able to find out anything from her, but Lord Captain, Adira is a psyker, and we are in the warp. You're the only one who would risk setting foot in that compartment. And if you do not, we will never see Adira again. I beg you, Lord Captain, do not ignore this matter. I'll deal with it personally. I need the exact location. Right away. I'd rather not have Adira exploding into demons on my ship. Goes of the past.
This Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
His terminal, an important part of the compartment's internal infrastructure, appears to be in working order. The cogitators regularly display reports on the screen on this chain of symbols. Understandable by... And who now deigns to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is the leader himself, who has grown tired of hiding behind others? Theodora von Valancius is before you. She looks grotesque. The holions wide in her chest, rusted hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lump and inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers, as though it is dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you with whitish eyes of a corpse and smiles venomously. Rogue traitor! We meet at last. I've grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit. Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste. Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort, and everything I left behind has gone to this non-entity. Argenta's eyes spark with fury. Warp illusion, begone! Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recap like we used to? An invigorating hot drink containing caffeine or similar stimulants. I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings, or help you with your childish treasure hunt. Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. At the sight of the terrifying Theodora, Abelard's face turns sickly pale, throwing sparrows from the cursed apparitions of the archenemy. Is that what you were praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding, Orsarian. I think deep down you hope this apparition never ends. Die, scum. Strike passes through Theodora, who laughs scornfully. So that's how you greet your great predecessor boy. Bonds stronger than the laws of nature, or life and nature are holding me in this world. You will find it somewhat harder to get rid of me a second time. We've already met. First boy, for it was I who gave the order to bring you here, to my ship. Oh, how I rue that decision, and how I regret heeding the advice of my seneschal. Abelard whispers hurriedly to you, how can this be? It is the same vision as on the officer's deck, and yet entirely different. Why does it not remember that meeting? And why does it remember what the real Lady Theodora did? Alas, my glorious visage, your voyage through life has ended in the dullest possible way, by death. A nuisance I staved off as long as I could. But do not weep for me, my boy. I'm still keeping an eye on my property, and punishing all those who failed me. Theodora bares her rotten teeth in a snarl, a laugh piercing. You're not Theodora. Theodora is dead. There's no coming back from that. I'm dead? How is that? I'm no different from those who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see, I speak, I remember the wrongs you have all committed against me, and for all those who failed me, I've already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who cared for her. I am the taste of tears spilt for the unsaid and the undone. I am the terror of she who failed to turn the tide of fate and who refuses to look truth in the face. I am as real as the human passions that bring the worlds to ruin. If you're Theodora, then tell me, who really killed you? Oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying, to give you an honest answer, to leave you to languish in your ignorance. You see how you conduct yourself, little boy. Where's Zadira? What have you done with her? Me? What have I done with Theodora? Or with Zadira? Theodora laughs mockingly. All I did was turn a little mutt from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I give her toys, I cleaned up after her antics. I provided her with everything you could dream of. Oh, I had great plans for little Adira. What do you want from me? Why are you waiting for me? Theodora warily rolls her eyes. Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached death's veil to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help? And from my little Adira, no less. And once I appeared here, of course I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this deplorable state of affairs. I'll send you back into the abyss you crawled out of. You, of all people to ever threaten me, you're the most pathetic boy. All that you possess now was given to you in error. You are unworthy of such a generous gift, and you are incapable of holding on to it. I am here to seek retribution against all who failed me. My brainless crew, my useless officers, my pathetic servants, who turned their backs on their mistress in their darkest hour. Worst of all, you, my dear heir. You have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I will drag it all to the warp with me, including you.
I didn't.
Lines on the screen look fuzzy, as though the cogitator's readout system or data storage has been damaged. The people's remains have been hideously mutilated. The flesh seems to have been melted at the edges and is thickly coated in stinking mucus.
Heel, we need to move on.
There's loot. The wall's lining is dented, as though someone tried to break their way out. Labored, stuttered growls and periodic rattling comes from beneath the casing of that generator. So, in the darkness can be seen in the open breach of the macro cannon. A huge shell is ready to be loaded into the macro cannon breach. But where should it go? I saw it was right here. Hurry, hurry, before the Lord Captain gets angry. The Captain herself has come down to us. What a blessing. Where'd it go? I saw it right here. There she is. Where is she? I clearly remember her being around here. A spilt liquid, cloudy and carrying a strong chemical smell. It's coolant used to stabilize the major cogitator systems. There's Adira. Ah, there you are, my little coward. Why won't you look at your captain, Adira? It's wrong. It's all wrong. Look at her, boy, my little Adira is utterly trapped in her visions. No matter, I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain! Adira turns her head to you, but her demented gaze only rests briefly on your face before sliding away. Up close, you can see that the base of one of Adira's temple implants is blackened and melted. No, wait. Lord Captain? Lady Von Valencias. Adira raises her eyes to Theodora, who stands before her. Tears stream down her cheeks. You came back. Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Adira's hair. Poor little Adira. There. How could I not come? You were crying for me so desperately. Your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself. The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face. Why don't you save me? Or why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself. Theodora's fingers dig into Adira's scalp, meeting no resistance. Adira lets out a soul-chilling howl and begins to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh. I didn't hear anything. That could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I failed. Adira breaks into a strangled scream, and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Argenta wordlessly swings her weapon up and aims it at Adira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The Sister of Battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy. Let Argenta act. One second, and Adira's body sags to the floor. At the same moment, you hear a terrifying sound, shrill and piercing laughter. Emperor Grantor Abelard stops short, staring at the body unblinkingly for a few seconds before turning away. The figure of the cackling Theodora von Valencias shudders and begins to change form. At last you begin to understand how important it is to promptly dispose of trash. You've learned your lesson too late, too late. It was a demon the whole time? And there's multiple of them.
Uninvited. How improper.
Beast. Little horror. And a bunch of maddened workers. Mutant mental manipulation. Well then. Argenta. Cassia, you move there. Pascal, how about you prepare to hold off? The enemy. Abelard, you prepare to deal with the demons. Grumpy, you prepare to deal with all of the chaff back here. And I'll stick there myself. I guess just a little ahead. Magenta. I think it's about time to get some work done here.
Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
And what to do? Grumpy. Move there. Make better artistry.
Emperor, protect me! Quick, quick!
We'll get bombed.
Look out.
Cassia. Over there. Out here, little stair.
Emperor, give me strength.
Construct vision.
I'm afraid not. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Zone of fear.
Emperor, protect me.
Devlog.
Victory is imminent. At your beck and call. I will do my duty.
The target to the close. Oh, taunting the screen.
At your beck and call.
Pascal.
The spectral prognosis is favorable. Tech familiar activated. Request approved.
And then myself. Go there. Should take hot shots at the warp beast. It's gonna get resolve up as well. Ooh, music is in.
Is a reward.
Can't quite handle stuff.
I'll do it.
Let's go for wildfire.
As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
High momentum.
Carnival Wizard. Lex Imperialis. Blood Oath. Random available targets. Artistry. And it's back there. I see that. Do a bit more steering.
Face the navigator's might.
And then obstruct vision. Actually, no. Let's get Lord.
If you insist, Lord Captain.
Indeed. Target well struck. One fewer target.
Handle that.
Victory
handle
is
door.
imminent.
Available light for.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Have a light.
Fantastically sound approach. Ah, an exemplary strike. Free hand, sure hand. I just get it in front of me. I'd rather not.
Dodging a screen.
I've suffered worse. Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Let's go ahead and get it located.
Abide in the host of blessed creation. vibrations of the young desire.
Heal yourself.
Organics required it. Running binary
Overcharge. Purification discharge. Get some healing for everybody. Got whiplash on that, no? And then Argenta can do a little bit of structure.
Doubt is for the weak. Eradicated.
Nice. So I got that one bomber guy left. Let's see. Where's the warp? Eating, melting.
This way!
Cassia.
Now, do something!
And done. Lord Captain, the Boxmaster's voice checks traitorously. I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck has stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control, awaiting further instructions. I eliminated the problem. Neither Adira nor the ghost of the departed Theodora will trouble us again. See to it that the bodies on the lower decks are disposed of. For a moment, the airways are filled with something that sounds somewhat like breathing, somewhat like ordinary interference. Of course, Lord Captain. And I get a little bit of loot for that. Pascal, make that luck for me.
Operation successful.
Battle Psyker Boots. Gain 4 dodge until the start of your next turn for each enemy affected by a your psi power or psi step attack stacks. Unsanctioned Psyker or Psychic Awakening. Warp Conductor Gloves. Triggering a psychic phenomenon or peril of the warp. Gain +1 psi rating until the end of combat, and gain momentum. And temporary wounds able to resolve can only be equipped by an unsanctioned Psyker. Then we got the Guardian Crown, +10 toughness, once per combat. Whenever the wearer's wounds drop below 35, gain 12. And machine right set. Instead of regular symbols and numbers, the screen displays slanted script, almost resembling handwriting in an unknown language. Serrated monoknife. More of them. Some more grenades, more knives. And the exit. Back to the void ship bridge we go. Okay, let's get out of the warp. Back into Furibundus, so we're going to drop off the planetary data. You know, it occurs to me I should probably be dropping all the stuff I can't or won't use into the holds for trading purposes.
Locomotives are fully operational.
Sicarian Wrist Stalker. Fancy. I've collected planetary data that may interest you. Getting one profit factor. With a respectful nod, the tech priest takes the data slip. The collection of data is of interest, significant, compliant with the criteria for cooperation. The Cognitions Fleet thanks you for your contribution and guarantees the provision of a reciprocal service indulgence in the form of parts and equipment. I'd like to make a trade deal. I cannot get more mobile constructicum. Guardian's Manual for more Medicae. Get a Weber. Target designator. Whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a dead-eye shot, it reduces the enemy's deflection by 1 and applies 1 exploit. Stims deflection gloves. These gloves allow the wearer to parry melee attacks with their ranged weapon using ballistic skill instead of weapon skill. That could be fun. Oh wait, no, that's just parrying. It's just normal parrying, but with a ranged weapon. Not that interesting. Anyway. Iconoclast follower. Vertical. Only gonna have the one servo swarm. Not gonna use those. Heavy armor, heretical. Heavy weapon, plasma, Eldari, flamer, bolter, flame, navigator. I mean, I already have those. Not gonna have a diviner. Drakari. Nothing heretical there. Alright. I still have one more mobile extracticum anyway. Blasphemous Prism. Prison crafted by the cultists of the Final Dawn belongs to the leader Aurora. If you look through it for long enough, your vision begins to deceive your mind, showing you what could be instead of what is. Some other stuff, nude portrait of the rogue trader. Prison diaries of Ate Shaw. And I think I'm going to cut things off for today. Thanks for watching. For so long. It's been 4 hours. Wait, my throat's a bit sore. See you guys later.